to 4 in the afternoon dito sa inyong nag-iisang himpilan, Cool FM. Mapapakul ka dito!
Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masanggamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM! This is koolNews Early Edition.
Yes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. Today is July 17, 2024, and it is Wednesday. So we'll get into the morning headlines from yesterday and today. So let's get into that right now. All right, let me. All right. Okay. Let's get this open. This not a real quick there. Let's just wait for headlines. Okay, we are really experiencing some frame drops here. Hopefully it doesn't stay that way. But yeah, I just hope it doesn't ruin what I'm going to do this morning. Anyways, now let's get into the headlines. Okay, let's just wait for it. There it is. Let's get into the first. Let's get into the first. Oh, whoops! I forgot to mute the. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now let's get into the first headline for this hour. The National Citizens Movement for Free Elections, NAFREL, has objected to a proposal pending before the Commission on Elections to ban the use of artificial intelligence as a campaign tool in next year's midterm polls. The poll watchdog instead pushed for a public-approved code of conduct or said AI is here to stay and it's finding applications in many areas, including elections. While AI's potential for improving electoral processes is recognized, what has been highlighted is the misuse and abuse of the technology, as seen in recent nation elections worldwide, NAFREL said in a position paper released on Tuesday. According to NAFREL, banning or even just regulating the use of AI may infringe on freedom of speech and expression. The company may also face legal challenges for it, as the new technology requires expertise or a new set of skills to enforce the restriction. For non-frail, a ban may curtail technological innovation and inadvertently limit the benefits of AI in enhancing electoral processes. Non-frail instead recommends the ComNet to draft a code of conduct that will embody a set of ethical principles that all election stakeholders will be asked to adhere to, the group said, citing the results of a roundtable discussion it held in June with other poll watchdogs, information technology experts, academics, and officials from the ComNet itself. The code should be based on the principles of transparency, respect for human rights, accountability, truthfulness, fairness, and non-discrimination, it added. In the case of political ads or similar materials employing AI, such content should just be appropriately marked, it said. The disclosure must include funding sources, expenditures, AI technology use, data about the target audience, and the source of such data. Transparency should extend across the AI ecosystem, from content creation to audience targeting, with social media platforms actively participating and adhering to a code of conduct itself. Non-Farrell also proposed that candidates and political parties be required to disclose their intention to use AI in their campaigns, as well as their willingness to be audited for any AI-generated content. Legal liabilities and penalties should apply to candidates, political parties, campaign teams, and public relations and advertising firms that cause the development or generation of AI-generated content. Shared accountability is crucial due to the challenges in detection and monitoring by election management bodies alone, it said. A committee or task force within the Common may be used to monitor AI use or if the technology is being used for disinformation or producing deepfake videos or audios, it added. Common should implement a reporting and complaint process regulating AI-generated election paraphernalia. Common can encourage candidates, political parties, and other stakeholders to adopt self-regulation mechanisms for AI use in elections and election-related activities, Nanfro said. In May, ComLec Chair Judge Garcia proposed a ban on AI in the next campaign season, warning its use could worsen the spread of fake news and undermine the integrity of elections and the credibility of public officials, candidates, and election management authorities. This defeats the very purpose of a campaign, which is to fully and truthfully inform the voters about the elections and candidates, according to Garcia. In June, Garcia's proposal was referred by the ComLec and banked to the concerned committees. Big tech companies including Meta, Google, Snapchat, TikTok, and Microsoft have been discussing with ComLec how to combat fake news during the campaign period. Experts have called the Philippines the patient zero of digital disinformation, partly due to the high number of Filipinos using the internet daily for news, entertainment, and social networking. While disinformation and misinformation are heavily associated with the technology, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, in its Elections in Digital Times, a guide for electoral practitioners, released in 2022, also highlighted the potential of AI to improve the efficiency and accuracy of polls. AI-powered chatbots can provide real-time information about polling locations, candidate platforms, and voting procedures, making the electoral process more accessible and transparent, consequently leading to more reliable and timely results. AI may also improve data management by ensuring accurate collection, storage, and analysis of extensive electoral data, enabling authorities to make swift decisions and identify trends effectively. It may also be used to fortify cybersecurity measures by easily detecting anomalies and fraudulent activities in the automated election system. Senators on Tuesday called on appropriate state agencies to go after about 1,200 alias girls or Chinese nationals who allegedly obtained Filipino citizenship by securing spurious birth certificates in Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur province. It goes to show that the policy on delayed registration of birth has really been abused, Senator Sherwin Kachilian told reporters. This should be investigated. This is very alarming. It's a serious alarm, he said. He noted that the incident was similar to the case of Guo, the suspended mayor of Papantalak, whose citizenship has become the main focus of an ongoing Senate inquiry of Philippine offshore gaming operators Pogos. Guo, who has been in hiding after she was ordered arrested by the Senate last week, had denied allegations that her real identity was Guo Huaping, a Chinese national believed to have illegally acquired Filipino citizenship through the late registration of birth scheme. Gatchalian earlier revealed that foreigners will be paying as much as 300,000 pesos for manufactured birth certificates and other government-issued identification cards. Senate President Francis Escudero said the National Bureau of Investigation should conduct a deeper probe and identify those responsible for fabricating the birth documents. This was after MBI Director Jamie Santiago disclosed that up to 1,200 Chinese nationals have been given birth certificates by the local civil registry of Santa Cruz since 2016. The number was 6 times bigger than the NBI's initial information that some 200 Chinese citizens had become Filipinos, particularly in an instant. I think that is only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, as Escudero said. I believe Guo is not the first and will certainly not be the last to fake a birth certificate. Senator Risa Hontiveros, the chair of the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, which is investigating Guo, said the Santa Cruz Civil Registry Office personnel should be held liable, reiterating that Filipino citizenship should not be treated as a commodity. We must crack down on Filipinos who have made this possible, she said in a statement. Uncovering thousands of fake identities is a clear threat to public order and national security. Our recent legislative inquiries into Pogos have already revealed that criminal groups use fake Filipino citizenship to carry out their illicit activities, she added. For Senate Minority Leader Aquino Pimentel III, the local government of Santa Cruz should help law enforcement agencies in carrying out a comprehensive investigation. According to Kachilian, he had received information that there were similar cases of Chinese nationals getting birth certificates in Lanao provinces. He urged the Bureau of Investigation and Department of Foreign Affairs to be on the lookout for individuals who had applied for Philippine passports by presenting birth certificates that were registered lately. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court and BAC has required Hontiveros Committee to reply to Guo's petition within 10 days. The court further required the Office of the Clerk of Court and Bank to personally serve the court's resolution on the respondent, which shall likewise personally file and serve as comment, Supreme Court spokesperson Camille Ting told reporters on Tuesday. On July 10, Guo's camp filed a petition for certiorari before the court, seeking to stop the Senate committee from inviting her to its hearings. She also sought a temporary restraining order against Hontiveros for grave abuse of discretion after she supposedly subjected Guo to public persecution and humiliation during the hearings. And the Bureau of Internal Revenue BIR or BIR on Tuesday said electronic marketplace operators such as Shopee and Lazada have started collecting the withholding tax on sellers or margins using their platforms. Electronic marketplace operators will begin imposing a withholding tax against their sellers' margins starting July 15, 2024. We have already extended this by 90 days. No further extensions will be given, BIR Commissioner Romelo Lumagi Jr. said in a statement. In December last year, the BRR issued Revenue Regulation 60-2023 requiring online margins with earnings of more than 500,000 pesos annually to be subjected to a 1% withholding tax. The tax will apply to half of the gross remittance by electronic marketplace operators and digital financial services providers such as GCash and Maya that are being used by sellers or merchants in sale of their goods or services through digital platforms. DFSPs also include credit card providers facilitating the settlement of transactions made through the internet and mobile phones. Gross remittance refer to the total amount received by an e-market operator or e-wallet provider from the online buyers of the goods and services. The BRR circular provided an 80-day extension to allow affected parties to make the necessary adjustments prior to the actual imposition of the withholding tax. The withholding tax is not a new tax. It's merely a system of taxation where taxes are collected at source, which will be credited against the total income tax liability of the seller's margins, Lumagi noted. The BRL aims to level the playing field between brick and mortar stores, which are regularly complying with their tax obligations, and online marketplaces. Whether the business is operated online or through physical stores, sellers and merchants have to pay their taxes, Lumagi said. The BRR defines e-marketplace as a digital service platform that connects online buyers with online sellers, facilitate and conclude the sales, and process the payment of the products, goods, or services online. Aside from online shopping platforms, this also includes digital food delivery service and other services used for booking resort, hotel, and other lodging accommodations. The tax agency has required online sellers and merchants to register their business with the beer and submit a copy of their certificate of registration to the e-marketplace operator and DFSP prior to the use of their online facilities. For those seeking exemption, merchants need to submit a BRR received pursuant declaration to the online platform and DFSP stating that the local gross remittance that they are to receive from the e-marketplace operators will not exceed 500,000 pesos. Aside from the obligation to withhold applicable taxes before remitting the sales proceeds of payments or proceeds or payments to sellers, e-marketplace operators and DFSPs must likewise ensure that all sellers are registered with the BIR prior to allowing them to use their facility. At the same time, the mobile payment service or e-wallet used for customer payments must be for the account of the seller's BIR registered trade name. For example, a customer using GCash must pay to a store's BIR registered GCash account and not to the owner's GCash number. Roberto Laudio, president of the Philippine Retailers Association, on Tuesday said that while the move was in the right direction, they were confused as to the intention of the memorandum and the specifics of the 1% withholding tax. If this is the tax to be paid by their foreign merchants and sellers, we find this completely unfair to local retailers who have to contend with the 12% value-added tax, Laudio told the Inquirer in their message. If such is the case, a rechargeable battery, for example, sold by a local store will pay the 12% VAT, while an online foreign seller will only pay a 1% withholding tax for a similar item, he said. Marketplaces such as Shopee, Lazada, Zalora, TikTok, and Shein pay taxes only on the commission they earn from the use of their platforms and not the VAT, which results in an unfair usage advantage against local retailers, Laudio said or added. Laudio noted that the BRR still has to explain the specifics of the 1% withholding tax and how it will be applied to online margins or sellers. Many sellers using the top two online shopping sites, Shopee and Lazada, are from China. Robert Dan Roses, chief economics at Security Bank Corp, said he expected a mixed impact of the latest beer measure on consumers and sellers. While it might generate revenue for the governments, it could also lead to higher prices, reduced choices, he said. Roses noted that balancing tax collection goals with practical challenges faced by online sellers would be crucial for the success of the new tax regime. Rizal Commercial Banking Corp chief economics Michael Ford said that the agency's move would be more effective in tax collections and would expand the tax revenue sources of the government, especially in the coming years as more businesses decide to use online transactions. Given the boom in e-commerce and online businesses worldwide, it makes a lot of economic and fiscal sense to make this a major government revenue source for the years to come, Rica Ford said. Alright, it is now 6:21, which is 21 minutes after 6, and we will be right back for more headlines right here on Cool News Early Edition. Stick around, we will be right back. All right, welcome back to Cool News, Cool News Early Edition. Okay, so let's continue now. Okay, let me just get the laptop ready. Excuse me. Okay, let's see if we have new headlines. We will be getting into a cool weather in just a bit, but we need to read the few headlines first. Okay, let me just get the Coke real quick. I do drink Coke. Yeah. Okay, nice. Alright, give me a second. Okay, alright, I'm back, so hopefully that kind of throat won't last long, but let's get into the headlines now. Less than a week before President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. delivers his third State of the Nation address, SONA, the business community on Tuesday endorsed 21 pending legislative measures for prioritization to help improve the overall investment environment in the country. The Joint Foreign Chambers of the Philippines and other prominent business groups said they were discussing these reforms ahead of the President's SONA on July 22 to drive economic growth, enhance global competitiveness, and promote inclusive development. With 1 year left in the current Congress, we believe that the 21 measures are achievable reforms that will generate substantial impact in reaching our shared vision of inclusive growth through job generation, poverty reduction, and global competitiveness, the coalition said in a statement. We will continue to work with Congress and your administration in support of these remaining reforms as we look forward to your third SONA, the letter added. On top of the list is the liberalization of foreign equality restrictions in the Constitution, an issue that has become divisive in Congress owing to fears that it might be used as a vehicle for political changes to the Charter. The other proposed legislations are less controversial, with a number of them pertaining to digitalization, some on improving workers' welfare and productivity, and a few seeking the creation of new government agencies. Heading the list of digitalization measures is the Conectando Pinoy Bill, which seeks to lower barriers and cost to entry for data service providers, promote sharing of infrastructure and efficient use of resources, and eventually lowering internet costs for Filipinos. The private sector is also pushing for amendments to the E-Commerce Act and the Intellectual Property Code to modernize and align these with the country's treaty obligations and international best practices. It said the bill promoting digital payments would help improve the business climate by mandating the use of safe and efficient digital or electronic modes of payments by all national government agencies, government-owned and controlled corporations, and local government units. The industry group likewise listed the Satellite-Based Technologies Promotion Act as important to ease regulatory requirements for the use of satellite-based internet technologies to connect unserved and underserved communities. For labor, the business community said the government should prioritize the bill calling for a national unemployment insurance program to protect workers from income loss due to retrenchment by providing unemployment benefits while they seek new jobs. It also pushed the amendments to the corporate recovery and tax incentives for Enterprises Act and the Philippine Economic Zone Authority Act to allow locators great flexibility in setting work from home and other flexible arrangements. It said lawmakers should also prioritize the proposed Holiday Rationalization Act to refine the number of non-working holidays and make it comparable to those of neighboring countries and to reduce business costs. It also called for further reforms to the current apprenticeship program to make it more attractive to both enterprises and prospective apprentices. Also needed are the amendments to the Secretary of Bank Deposits Law to allow the Bank Central non-Filipinas to examine, inquire, or look into deposits under certain conditions unlawful related to unlawful activities, and the passage of the Freedom of Information Act to provide the parameters and mechanisms for citizens' access to information in all government offices. The group likewise called for the creation of the Philippine Airports Authority that will handle the regulation and operation of all airports to improve safety and efficiency, as well as an amendment to the charter of the Philippine Ports Authority that will transfer all PBA-operated ports to a more capable, separate public sector entity. The bill creating the Department of Disaster Resilience is also being supported by the business sector to lead in the planning, coordination, monitoring, oversight, and implementation of disaster risk and vulnerability reduction and management. The remaining bills that need to be prioritized, according to the private sector, are the capital income and financial taxes reform, Pandemic Protection Act to prevent the overburdening of the healthcare system, Philippine pension system reforms, repeal of the Commonwealth Act 138, Flag Act to remove the 50% domestic preference in awarding public works contracts, easing of agricultural land ownership by raising the landholding ceiling from 5 hectares to 24 hectares and easing restrictions on farmland transactions, and the International Maritime Trade Competitiveness Act. Alright. Authorities have uncovered a clandestine trade of human organs in the Philippines, preying on vulnerable people who are offered a huge sum in exchange for one of their kidneys. A head nurse at the National Kidney and Transplant Institute in Quezon City was implicated as the alleged leader of the organ trafficking syndicate, the National Bureau of Investigation said in a statement on Tuesday. The nurse, identified by the NBI as Alan Ligaya, remains at large while 3 of his associates were arrested on allegations that they operated a black market for human organs in Bulacan Province, the NBI said. 9 of their alleged victims were rescued during an operation on July 11, it added. Reached for comment, the NKTI issued a statement confirming that Ligaya worked for the government specialty hospital. While we confirm that the said nurse is indeed an employee of the NKTI, we would like to assure the public that the management is already conducting its own investigation on the matter, it said. We would also like to warn the public of transactions outside of the hospital entered into by city groups, organizations, or private individuals claiming to be from the NKTI. The NKTI honors only legitimate transactions regarding living organs, including deceased organ donation. Angela at Daniel for one of the NBI, along with Bulacan Police and personnel from San Jose del Monte, SJDM City's Social Welfare and Development Office, conducted a raid on a house in SJDM after receiving a tip on the organ trafficking operation. The nine rescue victims were turned over to the city's social workers. As part of the suspect's modus operandi, the victims were first introduced to the intended recipient of their kidney and would be given a down payment, the NBI said. They were later moved to a house in Barangay Tukong, Banga, SGDM, where they were attended to and then checked if healthy enough for the surgical procedure and as an organ source. The victims will be held at the said house while undergoing various processes until the kidneys are eventually transferred, the NBS said. A separate statement from the Department of Justice, DOJ said 4 of the 9 rescue victims had already had one of the kidneys taken out and sold. The DOJ said the victims were recruited under the pretense of alleviating their financial burdens by selling their kidneys. The traffickers orchestrated the illegal transplants, exploiting the victims' economic vulnerabilities, it said. According to the DOJ, the suspects were arrested while attempting to deliver payments to one of the victims. They were arrested for their involvement in harboring and maintaining the victims for organ trafficking purposes, it added. This operation underscores the government's commitment to combating human trafficking and ensuring the protection and welfare of vulnerable individuals. The public is encouraged to report any suspicion to human trafficking, the DOJ said. The suspects were scheduled to undergo inquest proceedings for violation of Section 4H of Republic Act Number 11862 or the Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. Humans can still live normal, healthy lives with one functioning kidney, although some may experience complications like a slightly elevated blood pressure. Patients in need of a kidney transplant are advised to limit their search for donors to relatives up to the 4th degree. For those who do not have a living relative who can be a donor, the NKTI keeps the deceased donor registry in its Hope or Human Organ Preservation Effort Office. However, there is a waiting list that currently sits at 7,000 and continues to grow, according to the NKTI. All right, and now we will get ready for cool weather in just a bit. Alright, now we will be showing you the cool weather brought to you by the Pagasa Weather Specialist. If I remember correctly, that is Obed Barina. Now, here is the cool weather.
Magandang umaga ng Miyerkules sa inyong lahat. Narito na ang lagay ng ating panahon ngayong July 17, 2024. Sa ating latest satellite images, makikita natin dalawang weather system pa rin ang nakakaapekto sa ating bansa. Ang southwest monsoon o habagat na siya nagdadala pa rin ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan partikular na sa may kanlurang bahagi ng Southern Luzon, Visayas at ng Mindanao. Sa silangang bahagi naman, nandito pa rin yung low pressure area na patuloy nating minomonitor. Huling namataan 200 km northeast ng Surigao City sa Surigao del Norte. Sa ngayon, hindi pa rin natin inaalis yung posibilidad na ito ay maging bagyo habang lumalapit pa rin ito sa kaulapan. Gayunpaman, maging bagyo man o hindi itong low pressure area na ito ay nagbababala tayo kasi patuloy itong magdadala ng mga pag-ulan sa mga susunod na araw, partikular na sa bahagi ng Visayas at kasama din yung Southern Luzon, lalo na itong Bicol region. Kaya sa mga kababayan natin dito sa may area ng Visayas, dito sa may area ng Caraga at sa may Bicol region, gayon din sa iba pang bahagi ng Southern Luzon, asahan natin in the next 2 to 3 days patuloy na magdadala ng mga pag-ulan itong low pressure area, habang ang southwest monsoon magdadala rin ng mga pag-ulan dito sa may western section ng ating bansa. Yung ilang bahagi ng Luzon, kasama na dyan yung Northern Luzon at yung silangang bahagi ng Luzon, yung Ilocos region, patuloy na makararanas ng mga thunderstorms, mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Kasama na dyan itong Central Luzon at yung bahagi ng Calabarzon at Metro Manila. Maliban dito sa low pressure area natin minomonitor, wala na tayo iba pang binabantayang anumang weather disturbance sa loob at labas ng Philippine Area of Responsibility. Kaya laging tumutok sa Pag-asa kung makikita natin kung magiging bagyo itong low pressure area na ating minomonitor, silangan ng Mindanao. Samantala, narito ang magiging lagay ng panahon dito sa may bahagi ng Luzon. Makikita natin, malaki pa rin yung tsansa ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan, partikular na sa bahagi ng Isabela, kasama din yung area ng Aurora, Quezon, malaking bahagi ng Bicol region, gayon din sa may bahagi ng Mimaropa. Ito ay dulot ng epekto ng low pressure area sa may silangang bahagi ng Luzon, habang dito sa may area ng Mimaropa, dulot naman yun ng southwest monsoon o hanging habagay. Kaya asahan natin yung maulap na kalangitan sa bahaging ito ng Luzon. Sa lalabing bahagi naman ng Luzon, kasama na dyan yung Kamaynilaan, inaasahan pa rin natin yung mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Posible medyo mainit pa rin yung tanghali natin. Yung agwat nga ng temperatura sa Lawag, 26 to 33 degrees Celsius. Sa Tuguegarao, 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. Sa Baguio, 17 to 25. Sa Metro Manila, hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Sa Tagaytay naman, hanggang 30 degrees Celsius. Habang sa Legazpi, 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. Dumako tayo sa Palawan, Visayas at Mindanao. Magiging malaki din yung tsansa ng mga pag-ulan sa Palawan, dulot ito ng southwest monsoon o habagat, at ang agwat ng temperatura sa Kalayaan Islands, 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sa Puerto Princesa naman, nasa 25 to 30 degrees Celsius din. Malaking bahagi naman din ng Kabisayaan, itong Eastern Visayas, Western Visayas, Central Visayas at Negros Island region ay patuloy ding makararanas ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga tsansa ng mga pag-ulan, lalo na habang lumalapit itong low pressure area sa may area naman ng Kabisayaan. Agwat ang temperatura natin sa Iloilo, 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sa Cebu naman, 24 to 29 degrees Celsius at sa Tacloban, 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. Malaking bahagi din ng Mindanao ay makararanas ng mga pag-ulan sa araw na ito. Dulot yan ng low pressure area sa may silangang bahagi at southwest monsoon dito naman sa may area ng western Mindanao, kasama din yung area ng Soc-Sargen. Asahan natin yung mga pag-ulan na maaring magdulot pa rin ng mga biglaang pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa. Kaya sa mga kababayan ho natin dito sa Palawan, Visayas at Mindanao, iba yung pag-iingat nga dahil inaasahan pa rin natin magtutuloy-tuloy itong mga pag-ulan na dulot ng habagat at southwest monsoon. Yung habagat, southwest monsoon at saka yung low pressure area. Sa Zamboanga, ang agwat ng temperatura 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sa Davao City, 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Habang sa Cagayan de Oro, nasa 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Samantala, sa ngayon, wala tayong nakataas na gale warning pa rin, pero nagbibigay tayo ng babala, lalong-lalo na sa mga maliit na sasakyang pandagat. Kasi dito sa may kanlurang bahagi ng ating bansa, moderate to rough o katamtaman hanggang sa maalon ang magiging lagay ng ating karagatan. Kaya iba yung pag-iingat, lalo na pag minsan medyo mataas po yung alon. No? So iba yung pag-iingat sa mga kababayan natin, lalong-lalo na nga yung may mga maliliit na mga bangka. Samantala, ang araw natin ay sisikat mamayang 5:36 na umaga at lulubog, ganap na 6:29 ng gabi. At sundan tayo sa iba't ibang mga social media platforms, lalo na nga na may binabantayan tayong isang weather disturbance, itong low pressure area sa may silangan ng Mindanao. Sundan tayo sa ating iba't ibang mga social media platforms sa X, Facebook at YouTube at sa ating website pag-asa.dosc.gov.ph. At muli, mula sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center, ako naman si Obet Badrina. Maghanda po tayo lagi para sa ligtas na Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay.
That was the cool weather forecast by Pag-asa Weather Specialist of Obat Barina. Alright, it is now 12 minutes before to 7 and it's 6:48 in the morning, and we will be right back for more headlines right here on Cool News Early Edition. Stick around. Welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. It is now 4 minutes to 9, 4 minutes to 7, and now we will cover the international headlines, and then by 7 o'clock we will be welcoming new viewers with the 7 a.m. hour. Okay, let's get started now. Actually, that's U.S. military, so let's get into that real quick. The chief of the U.S. military met on Tuesday with Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief, General Romel Bronner Jr. to show Washington's solid commitment to its alliance with Manila ahead of a meeting between the top diplomatic and defense officials of the two countries. General Charles Brown Jr., chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, arrived in the country on Tuesday for a series of engagements with Bronner aimed at strengthening the long-standing U.S.-Philippines defense relationship, the U.S. Department of Defense (DoD) said in a statement. Brown's visit comes 2 weeks ahead of the 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Manila between the Foreign and Defense Secretaries of the two security allies. The meeting, scheduled for July 30, followed the conclusion of negotiations last month on Manila's General Security of Military Information Agreement with Washington. The United States has required a security inspection of selected military facilities in the Philippines before it seals the intelligence sharing pact. In a statement on Tuesday, AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel XRS Trinidad said the meeting between Bronner and Brown focused on enhancing bilateral defense cooperation, strengthening joint military exercises, and addressing regional security challenges. The statement quoted Bronner as saying, "Our alliance with the United States remains a cornerstone of our national security. Through continued collaboration and mutual support, we fortified our defense capabilities and ensure the stability of our region." According to the DoD, Brown will also visit one of the 9 military sites where U.S. forces have access under the 2014 Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. Expressing ECA's significance, the U.S. Embassy said it enables the U.S. and Philippine militaries to train together, respond to natural and humanitarian crises, and achieve modernization goals. The U.S. and the Philippines determined EDCA locations together, with the Philippine leadership providing final approval, the embassy said. Malacanan in April last year named 4 additional EDCA sites, Camilio or Cias Naval Base in Santa Ana Town and Lalo Airport in Lalo Town, Cagayan Province, Cam Malchor de la Cruz in Gabo Town, Isabel Province, and Balabac, the southernmost island of Palawan Province. These were in addition to previously agreed upon sites named Lumbia Air Base in Cagayan de Oro City, Mactan Benito Abuan Air Base in Cebu, Fort Magsaysay in Nueva Ecija, Basa Air Base in Pampanga, and Antonio Bautista Air Base in Palawan. The U.S. Defense Department said Brown had noted the expansion of U.S. rotational access last year in the 4 new EDCA sites. "I do see that the relationship is gaining momentum," the DoD quoted the top American general as saying. "In the Philippines, we have a long-standing shared interest in regional stability that's backed by international law." A general of the U.S. Air Force, Brown first visited Manila in 1987 when he was still a junior officer, the DoD said. And it is exactly 7 now, so we will get ready for the opening billboard for 7 a.m. hour now, so let's just get that ready. All right, okay, people. It is time to welcome new viewers to koolNews Early Edition who just joined. So let's do that now. So stand by.
is koolNews Early Edition.
A fellow good morning to everyone who just joined koolNews Early Edition. It is 7:01 in the morning. So again, to those who have just joined us, looking for the morning headlines, well, welcome aboard to koolNews Early Edition. Now let's get into the latest headlines that you need to know from yesterday and today with national and international headlines. Okay, so now let's get into that. Okay, let me check here. Okay, we do have already headlines. Alright, let's begin with the first three headlines for this gap of 7 a.m. hour. The Cavite City government has declared a state of calamity after a fire on Sunday ravaged two coastal villages and left more than 900 families homeless. Cavite City is now under the state of calamity, Mayor Denver Jua announced on his Facebook page on Tuesday afternoon. In another post, the city government said the declaration was based on the mayor's and the local disaster risk reduction and management council's endorsement and recommendation. Declaring a state of calamity would enable local governments to use their calamity funds. The move will also be a mechanism to control the prices of goods and commodities in the areas. The fire started at about 3 p.m. on Sunday along Batjao, Alonso Street, and spread to barangays 5 and 7, destroying more than 900 houses before it was extinguished 3 hours later, according to the Cavite City Police. Authorities said the fire affected more than 3,300 individuals who were temporarily housed at two public schools in the area and attended to by local social welfare workers. The investigators reported no casualties or serious injuries. Firemen were still investigating the cause of the blaze, while property damage has yet to be determined. On Monday, Chua reported that brothers Cavite Representative Jolo Revilla and Agibmat Representative Brian Revilla, along with local government officials, provided initial assistance to the families affected by the tragedy. The government officials distributed hot meals, hygiene kits, sleeping kits, and food packs to each family affected by the fire. In the coming days, we will also provide financial assistance to each family to help them rebuild their homes. A little patience, and we will rise again. Rest assured, we will not abandon you, Chua said. He has led a meeting with concerned departments from the city government to begin the relief and recovery operation for the victims. The city government has also launched a donation drive to help the fire victims. And now for international headlines, U.S. President Biden resumed political attacks against Donald Trump on Tuesday for the first time since the assassination attempt on his rival, as the Democrat sought to prop up his own flattering re-election bid. Biden did call anew for Americans to lower the temperature of their heated politics and sought a ban on the type of gun used in the shooting at his Republican opponent's political rally. But as he returned to the campaign trail with a speech to crucial black voters at the NAACP advocacy group in Las Vegas, Biden did not hold back against Trump, who was injured in the ear. Biden said Trump's presidency had been hell for black Americans. Cheers erupted as the 81-year-old lashed out at the Republican for talking about black jocks during the recent debate, the same debate during which Biden gave a stumbling performance that has plunged his candidacy into crisis. Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the Vice President of the United States, said Biden, referring to his running mate Kamala Harris, the first black and female vice president. But he opened his speech by saying he was grateful that Trump was safe after the shooting and said he wanted to renew efforts to ban the kind of anti-automatic rifle that shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks used. Join me in getting these weapons off the streets of America. An AR-15 was used in the shooting of Donald Trump. It's time to outlaw them, Biden said. Biden's renewed political focus on Trump comes as calls by some Democrats for him to step down after the debate, briefly silenced by the shooting, resumed. The Democratic National Committee, meanwhile, is pushing ahead with plans to push through Biden's own nomination ahead of his convention in August, despite calls to postpone the progress. Biden's campaign insisted the virtual roll call was necessary before the August 9 convention, as Republican-led Ohio had moved its filing date to August 7, and Biden asked, not being on the bullet there. It is our obligation as a campaign to make sure that President Biden is on the bullet. Biden deputy campaign manager Quentin Fulks told a press conference in Milwaukee. At the NAACP meeting in Las Vegas, there was widespread support for Biden staying on. I found President Biden very full of energy, said Donna Jackson Hodgson, an NAACP member from California. She admitted that I and many others had doubts about Biden's age and grabs after the debate, but he did a great job today convincing me. Tony Fields from New Jersey said Biden's speech was very insightful, adding that the bad debate was just a moment that the president had that evening. Biden, who says he screwed up due to lockjaw and illness, forcefully defended his ability to do the job in the major U.S. network interview on Monday night. I am old, Biden told NBC, but I am only 3 years older than Trump, number one. And number two, my mental acuity has been pretty damn good. Biden also defended his arrow take about Trump after Republicans accused him of stoking divisions, although he admitted it was a mistake to tell donors in a call last week that it was time to put Trump in the bullseye. People, including 4 Pakistanis, wounded in a shooting near a Chateau Muscat, officials said Tuesday, a rare attack in the country. This mosque attack came an annual day of mourning that commemorates the 7th century death in the Battle of Imam Hassan, regarded by the British as the rightful successor to the Prophet Muhammad. The Royal Oman Police have responded to the shooting incident that occurred in the vicinity of the mosque in the Al-Wadi Al-Kabir area of the capital, a police statement said. The 3 gunmen behind the attack were killed, and police officers have concluded the procedures for dealing with the shooting. The force gave a total of 6 killed, including a police officer. It said 28 people from various nationalities were wounded, including rescuers and paramedics. The Islamic State Hijaz group claimed the attack, saying 3 of its fighters were behind the shootings that targeted Shiites practicing their annual rituals on the occasion of the holy morning of Ashura. The group's propaganda channel Mual said on its Telegram channels that IS fighters opened fire with machine guns on Shiite worshippers before clashing with Omani security forces. The foreign ministry in Islamabad said at least 4 Pakistanis were martyred as a result of gunshots in the disorderly terrorist attack on the Ali bin Abi Talib Mosque. Another 30 Pakistanis were wounded, it added. 1 Indian was killed and another was wounded, India's embassy in Oman said on social media platform X. Footage verified by AFP shows people fleeing the Imam Ali Mosque. Its minaret visible as gunshots ring out. A voice can be heard saying, "Oh God," and repeating, "Oh Hassan." Speaking to AFP, Pakistan's ambassador to Oman, Imran Ali, said the Shiite mosque was mostly frequented by South Asian expatriates. Oman is home to at least 400 Pakistanis, he said. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said he was deeply saddened by the terrorist attack. In a statement on X, he said Pakistan stands in solidarity with the Sultanate of Oman and offers full assistance in the investigation. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani condemned the shooting as a decisive attack. Pakistan's ambassador said the attack started with gunfire from a building adjacent to the mosque as hundreds of people gathered for prayers. The worshippers were held hostage by militants before they were later freed by Omani forces. Ali told AFP. He said there was little information on the perpetrators or their possible motive. Everyone is being tight-lipped about this, he said, adding that the attack created a difficult situation. Early on Tuesday, Ali told hospitals that were treating the wounded. In a video message on X, he urged Pakistanis in Oman to cooperate with authorities and avoid the area around the mosque. Officers are on standby for emergency blood donations to the wounded and their relatives. The American Embassy in Muscat issued Tuesday. U.S. citizens and heed directions of local authorities. It posted on X. Police said all necessary security measures and procedures have been taken to handle the situation following the attack. The authorities are continuing to gather evidence and conduct investigations to uncover the circumstances surrounding the incident. Police added on X. The area remained cordoned off on Tuesday, while with journalists unable to access the mosque, an AFP photographer reported. Oman has a population of more than 4 million, of whom upwards of 40% are expat workers, mostly from South Asia, according to government figures. Shiites make up a majority of Oman's overwhelmingly Muslim population. Most Omanis follow the Sunni or Ibadi branches of the faith. Several texts on Shiite mosques have robbed the Gulf in recent years, but this was the first in Oman. A 2015 suicide attack on a Shiite mosque in Kuwait killed at least 27 worshippers and wounded more than 200. It was claimed by the Sunni extremist Islamic State group. The same year, Saudi Arabia saw 2 attacks on Shiite mosques in the space of the week, with at least 25 people killed. The attacks were again claimed by IS, which regards Shiites as heretics. In 2005, a former teacher opened fire inside a government building in Muscat, killing 2 people and wounding several others before shooting himself. Alright, it is now 40 minutes after 7, and we will be right back for more headlines right here on koolNews Early Edition. It is now 7:14. Welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. Let's continue with the headlines now. A recently signed agreement will open a direct line of communication between any new confrontations from China Sea, according to highlights of the accord seen by the Associated Press on Tuesday. China and the Philippines have created such emergency telephone hotlines at lower levels in the past to better manage disputes, particularly in two freshly disputed shows where the Philippines has accused Chinese forces of increasingly hostile actions, and China says Philippine ships have encroached despite repeated warnings. The territorial disputes, however, have persisted since last year, sparking fears of a larger armed conflict that could involve the United States, which has repeatedly warned that it is obligated to defend the Philippines, a key Asian treaty ally, if Filipino forces come under attack in the disputed waters. U.S. General Carlos Brown Jr., chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, met Philippine Military Chief General Mel Brother in Manila on Tuesday and discussed ways to further boost defense ties, enhance the military's ability to operate jointly, and ensure regional ability, the Philippine military said. During a confrontation with the Chinese and Philippine forces at the Philippine-occupied Second Taiwan Shoal in August 2023, the Philippine government said it was unable to reach Chinese officials through an established maritime communication mechanism for several hours. That emergency telephone hotline was arranged after Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing in January 2023. Chinese and Philippine officials dealing with the territorial disputes held talks in Manila on July 2, following a violent confrontation at the Second Taiwan Shoal, in which Chinese Coast Guard personnel reportedly wielded knives, an axe, and improvised spears, and Philippine Navy personnel were injured. The Chinese forces also seized 7 Philippine Navy rifles, said Brunner, who demanded China return the firearms and pay for damages. Both sides recognized the need to strengthen the bilateral maritime communication mechanism on the South China Sea and signed an arrangement on improving Philippines to China maritime communication mechanisms, the Department of Foreign Affairs in Manila said in a statement after the talks in Manila, but did not provide a copy or details of the agreement. A copy of the agreement's highlights seen by the AP said it provides several channels for communication between the Philippines and China, specifically on maritime issues, through the representatives to be designated by their leaders. The hotline talks could also be done through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Foreign Affairs counterparts, including at the Foreign Minister and Vice Foreign Minister levels, or through their designated representatives, it said, and added with elaborating that Philippine officials were in discussions with the Chinese side on the guidelines that would govern the implementation of this arrangement. There was also a plan to set up a new communication channel between the Chinese and Philippine Coast Guards once the corresponding memorandum of understanding between them is concluded, according to the agreement. During the talks in Manila, China and the Philippines agreed on 2 other confidence-boosting steps to intensify cooperation between their respective Coast Guard authorities and the possible convening of a maritime forum between Chinese and Philippine scientists and academic leaders. Both sides recognize that there is a need to restore trust, rebuild confidence, and create conditions conducive to productive dialogue and interaction, the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs statement said. It added that China and the Philippines affirmed their commitment to de-escalate tensions without prejudice to their respective positions. It said that there was substantial progress on developing measures to manage the situation at sea, but acknowledged that significant differences remain. At least 352 families or 1,405 individuals were affected by the flooding in 3 barangays in Mandaue City on Monday, July 15. The affected barangays were Umapat, Pacnanan, and Ibabaw Estancia, with Umapat being the most affected. They were evacuated in Umapat Elementary School. The families affected by the Mandaue City floods were already given meals and disaster kits containing goods, mats, and other garments, among others. The Butuanon River overflowed following the heavy rains experienced in mountain areas in Cebu City, where the upstream of the river is located. In line with this, Mando City will pursue with the Plan Beyond Borders initiative with Cebu City for a joint rehabilitation of the Butuanon and Mahiga rivers as one of the solutions of the flooding problem. Cortez is also set to meet with Cebu City Acting Mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia, Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, and Office of the Presidential Assistant for the Visayas to talk about the flood problems. Cortez will also want to suggest to put gabion dams in the upper areas in Cebu City to control the flow of floodwater so that it won't directly flow towards Mandu. Currently, there is also a slope protection structure being implemented along Butuanon River to prevent soil erosion and protect residential areas from threat of river overflow. Moreover, Mayor Jonas Cortez also ordered the City Engineering Office to connect the drainage in Pantax and Zito Laray, especially since the owner of the property lot had recently gave her permission. However, the city would need to clear about 79 still houses and relocate these families. A ransomware attack has forced the Department of Migrant Workers to shut down its online services to protect the data of registered overseas Filipino workers. While efforts to restore online systems are ongoing, electronic or online systems that issue OECs or OFW passes and OFW information sheets and other online services may not be used temporarily, the DMW said in its statement on Tuesday. OEC referred to overseas employment certificates, while OFW passes are the online version of the OEC. Rest assured, the DMW databases containing OFW data were not affected by the attack, it added. The DMW said it had already coordinated with the Department of Information and Communication Technology to restore its online systems. It advised those seeking OECs or OFW passes to go to the DMW National Office, regional offices and extensions, one-stop shops, and migrant workers assistance centers for manual processing. For OFW securing their information sheets, they should send an email message to infosheet@dmw.gov.ph for further instructions. The slower than expected economic expansion in the first quarter prompted the ASEAN, or Association of Southeast Asian Nations, plus the Macroeconomic Research Office to cut its growth outlook on the Philippines, week external environment expected to weigh on the economy. In an update to its flagship ASEAN Plus Regional Economic Outlook report released on Tuesday, the international organization said it expects the Philippines to grow by 6.1% this year, lower than its old projection of a 6.3% expansion. But despite the downward revision, AMRO's new forecast would nevertheless settle on the low end of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s 6 to 7% growth target for 2024. The Philippines will also be the second fastest growing economy in ASEAN this year behind Vietnam, and would even outperform the region's projected average growth of 4.8% if Maro's new prediction is to be believed. For 2025, AMRO penciled in a faster 6.3% growth, a bit weaker than its old forecast of a 6.5% uptick for next year. Ho Kehor, chief economics at AMRO, said the group turned less bullish on the Philippines in light of the data that comes out in the first half of the year. They have shut down the growth for not just the Philippines but many of the countries in the region. As I mentioned, the recovery in the external sector was weaker than expected, Kehor told a press conference. Government data showed growth of household spending eased to 4.6% in the first quarter, the weakest reading since the 4.8% contraction at the height of COVID-19 pandemic in the first quarter of 2021, amid stumbling higher inflation and interest rates. That in turn held back the first quarter gross domestic product growth to 5.7%, slower than market consensus. While AMRO had turned less upbeat on the Philippines, the International Monetary Fund retained its growth projections on 6 and 6.2% for 2024 and 2025 respectively in its World Economic Outlook update released yesterday. The IMF said its global growth forecast for this year is also unchanged at 3.2%, but flag slowing disinflation and rising policy uncertainty. First, further challenges to disinflation in advanced economies could force central banks to keep borrowing costs higher for even longer, the IMF said. That would put the overall growth at risk, with increased upward pressure on the dollar and harmful spillovers to emerging and developing economies, it added. In its updated report, AMRO trimmed its 2024 inflation forecast for the Philippines to 3.3% from 3.6% previously, but raised its prices growth projection for next year to 3.1% from 2.9% before. The EC inflation, in turn, may keep the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to room to its ultralight monetary policy settings ahead of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Amros Quijos said. Well, we should remember two things. One is that inflation is pretty well anchored in the region and growth has been pretty robust, so that gives the central bank a lot of flexibility to cut the rates, he said. But central banks are holding back because the exchange rate is pretty weak, but they are all weakening together mostly, he added. The Board of Investments has raised its target investment approvals this year to 1.6 trillion pesos from 1.5 trillion pesos, drawing optimism from the upward trend in the volume of foreign direct investments coming to the Philippines. Considering the overall numbers of up 80% in January to April, and considering the pipeline, let's just say we are thinking of adjusting the upper limit to 1.6 trillion pesos. Seferino Odolfo, BOI managing head, told reporters on the sidelines of the Tatak Pilar Forum at the Philippine International Convention Center. Back in January, the BOI's parent agency, the Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, said that they expect approvals to range from 1.1 trillion pesos to 1.5 trillion pesos in 2024. This is after coming from last year's actual posting of 1.36 trillion pesos, the highest in the BOI's 56-year history. The bulk of the investments recorded last year were in the renewables energy sector, with the trend falling in line with the government's roadmap for renewables to have a 35% share in the country's power generation mix by 2030. Today, most of the Philippines' power plants are coal-fired and diesel-fed, tying the local cost of electricity to the volatile global market prices of coal and oil. Meanwhile, investment approvals by the DTI's lead investment promotions body reached 729 billion pesos in 2022, 655 billion pesos in 2021, 1.02 trillion pesos in 2020, and 1.40 trillion pesos in 2019. The Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, on Tuesday said it was pushing for bigger fines on importers, distributors, and sellers of uncertified products. Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascal said that the current fines imposed on violators are based on laws that were enacted many years ago, thus do not really discourage the individuals and companies from bringing in and selling subpar products. We have many fines that need updating, said Pascal said during a press conference in Makati, where they showed the government's latest haul of uncertified appliances. If the laws are not updated, the fines amounts become too petty, he added. Philip Sawali, the director of the DTI's Fair Trade and Enforcement Bureau, said that the fines set under the VAPE Act lapsed into law in July of 2022 have more than stringent fines ranging from hundreds of thousands of pesos to millions of Filipinos depending on the infraction. Those are what we hope to follow, that the Consumer Act violation will also be up to date, Kawali said during the same event. Under recent laws, Sawali said retailers were fined just 25,000 pesos for every violation, while suppliers and importers were penalized 25,000 pesos and 50,000 pesos. He said that they are continuously working with lawmakers to push for these reforms. Since the DTI formed its task force called Kalasag last April until June, 89.76 million pesos worth of uncertified goods have been confiscated by the government agency. This translates to a little more than 311 units of uncertified goods, which range from electrical appliances to construction materials, down to helmets and visors, as well as automotive automotive supplies. The reduced rate in Tanza Cavite resulted in the seizure of 8.27 million pesos worth of goods, most of which are appliances and other consumer goods. Last month, the DTI task force also seized 9.35 million pesos worth of the same goods in Paridel, Bulacan, as well as another 7.75 million pesos worth of contraband in Valenzuela City. Pascal said they plan to request from Congress more funding to ramp up their crackdown on these goods of questionable quality. And the San Miguel Corp-led consortium, which is the government's private sector partner for the rehabilitation of Ninoy Aquino International Airport, should absorb the financial burden of the imminent terminal fee hike instead of passing this cost to passengers, according to a group of consumer welfare advocates. Patrick Climaco, Secretary General of Barangay Consumer Calzada Corriente or BK3, said in a statement on Tuesday that the looming increase in airport fees will burn a deeper hole in the passengers' pockets, including the overseas Filipino workers (OFWs). The welfare of the majority of travelers who can afford the budget fares should take precedence. Let us consider the millions of OFWs enduring the heartache of being separated from their families and toiling far from home to provide the needed support for their loved ones. Climaco said. For BK3, said the San Miguel-led New Naya Infrastructure Corp should hear the burden of additional costs because the consortium would earn from running the country's main gateway in the long run. The Department of Transportation estimated that the government would generate 900 billion pesos or 36 billion pesos annually over the course of a 21-year concession period. This includes the 30 billion pesos upfront payment, the 2 billion peso annuity payment, and revenue share. Alright, it is now 7:39 in the morning, which is 21 minutes before 8, and we will be right back for more headlines right here on koolNews Early Edition. Stick around, we will be right back. Welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. Alright, 40 minutes before 8, so let's get into the headlines right now. Okay, let's do this again. Alright, okay, let's continue. Let me just check if I have a brand new if we get a new headlines for right now. I'll just wait for the new headlines. It looks like we don't have any new headlines at the moment, but we will find the ones that we can prioritize. Okay, we'll be covering the yesterday's headlines if that's the case, so let's get to that now. Okay, give me a second. If possible, we will also be going to different news sites to cover up here. Alright, let's get started. The Philippines and Japan on Tuesday signed an agreement to improve earthquake and tsunami capabilities to mark the 34th anniversary of the deadly 1990 Luzon quake. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology and Japan International Corporation Agency embarked on a partnership dubbed as the Project for Capacity Development for Monitoring and Information Dissemination of Earthquake, Tsunami, and Volcano. The ceremony, held in Phil Fox Auditorium in Quezon City, was graced by GICA or GICA Chief Representative Takema Sakamoto and Phil Fox Director Teresito Bacolco. We deem this as an invaluable knowledge sharing experience, Bacolco said in a statement. Scheduled for a 3-year duration, the collaboration will leverage GICA's expertise in earthquake analysis, type-level analysis, tsunami early warning, and disaster information communication and awareness, according to Bacolco. This project will entail a series of comprehensive training programs in the Philippines and master courses in Japan that will enable our team to learn from the seasoned experts at GICA and its partner universities and organizations, he said. Such initiatives, Bacolco said, were made to avoid the over 2,000 deaths reported, mostly in Baguio City, when the magnitude 7.8 earthquake occurred on July 16, 1990. Metro Manila is also anxiously participating for the big one. The so-called big one, or the magnitude 7.2 earthquake hitting Metro Manila, would lead to at least 52,000 deaths and 500,000 injuries, according to the study of risk assessment and consultancy firm PSA Philippines Consultancy Incorporated, published in 2019. Phil Fox said the West Valley Fault in Metro Manila only moves every 400 to 600 years, and its last movement was in the 16,000s. Sitting on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates often collide, the Philippines experience frequent earthquakes and volcanic activity. Senator Sherwin Cachillan once again urged suspended Bambang Mayor Alice Guo to voluntarily surrender herself before the Senate emphasizing that her life wouldn't be normal if she goes into hiding. Speaking to reporters in an unabashed interview on Tuesday, Kajila said he is confident that Go is still in the Philippines. He, however, said there is a need to wait for now, as there is still no certainty that the controversial local official would comply with the Chamber's arrest order. I think we just have to wait for now. Hindi rin siya makakalabas ng bahay nila at hindi siya pwedeng mag-malling. Hindi normal ang buhay nila. Hindi magiging normal ang kanyang pamumuhay na pwede silang kumain sa restaurant dahil mahuhuli at mahuhuli siya. Pinakamaganda sa kanya magsarado na lang para matuloy na rin ang hearing dahil kung ganito mangyayari sa kanya, hindi magiging normal ang kanyang pamumuhay kasi hindi siya makakalabas ng kanyang pinagtatagunan, said Kajilian. But what will be the direction of the Senate's proceedings should Guo fail to appear before the Senate on the continuation of the panel on women's prop into illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators? Kajilian said he intends to look deeper into Guo's alleged partners, the money laundering site, as well as other people who have ties with the local official, including Nancy Gamo, her alleged accountant, who is now under the custody of the Senate. The Senate on Saturday issued an arrest order against Guo and 7 others for refusing to appear despite due notice at the Committee on Women's hearing on July 10. A quick look into the arrest official order shared to the media would show that it was signed by panel head Senators Hontiveros and Escudero. The document stated that Guo's refusal to appear before the Senate delayed, impeded, and obstructed the inquiry into the reported violation of human trafficking, serious illegal detention, and physical abuse and torture in the premises of an internet gaming licensee of the Philippine Amusement Gaming Corporation. Guo is subjected to scrutiny after the Senate panel on women barred her alleged ties to illegal poker firm Suan Yuan Technology Incorporated in Pampang, Tarlac. Questions about her citizenship were also raised, leading to allegations that she is a Chinese spy, which she vehemently denied. Apart from the embattled local official, arrest orders against her family members Sheila Guo, Wesley Guo, Chiang Sihong Guo, Feynman Guo, and her suspected mother, Wenli Lin, were likewise released. Also ordered arrested were Dennis Cunanan, an alleged authorities representative of Pocos and Gamo. And for now for the West Philippine Sea coverage, the largest Coast Guard ship in the world of 12,000-ton vessel owned by China has left Escota Sabina Shoal in the West Philippine Sea after being anchored in the area since July 3, the Philippine Navy said on Tuesday. Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, Philippine Navy spokesman for the West Philippines, said the ship, also dubbed the Monster for its sheer size, has also left the country's exclusive economic zone. It's no longer in Escoda Shoal. We have to check its latest location. Trinidad told reporters in Pasay City, adding that the China Coast Guard had sent no replacement so far. However, 4 CCG vessels remain at Ayukin Sakadama Shoal, another marine feature in the West Philippine Sea, about 67 kilometers west of Escoda, according to data from the Armed Forces of the Philippines. On July 3, the 165-meter CCG ship with bow number 5901 dropped anchor at Escoda, where the Philippine Coast Guard's BRP Teresa Bangua had been stationed since April this year. The 97-meter Bangua, the PCG's most modern vessel, was sent to Escoda in response to the presence of Chinese maritime military and reclamation activities reported in the area. On Sunday afternoon, another CCG ship with bow number 5303 was spotted about 111 kilometers, 16 nautical miles west of Lubang Island, or northwest of Mindoro, according to American maritime security expert Ray Powell. Powell, the director of Sea Light, a program of Stanford University's Gordian Knot Center for National Security Innovation that keeps track of Chinese activities in the West Philippine Sea, said the CCG was conducting an inclusive patrol in the area. But Trinidad refused to describe the presence of CCG 5303 ship as intrusive, saying it was a continuous passage west of Lubang Island, 16 nautical miles from mainland Luzon. It's freedom of navigation. We have monitored their presence and we were aware that they were here. They were there, he said. CCG ship 5303 ahead of the joint scheduled joint with the Philippine excuse me. Trinidad said excuse me. Once again, excuse me. Trinidad said it remains to be seen whether his arrival was connected to the drills, but said the Philippines had issued a radio challenge to the Chinese vessel and did not get a response. Also on Tuesday, the AFP said it had monitored a total of 104 Chinese vessels, including 94 military ships, swarming in various parts of the WPS from July 9 to July 15. The number was higher than the previous week's total of 94. Based on the numbers for the past 1 month, we have seen a decrease. Last week we had 94. The previous week, 95. This week, 104. So that's only a very slight increase compared to the previous month, Trinidad said at the press briefing. The last bilateral meeting between Manila and Beijing on the West Philippine Sea situation was held on July 1st, following the latest escalation of tensions on June 17, where the CCG ramped and damaged the rubber boats of the Philippine Navy resupply mission, the degraded BRB Sierra Madre, the military outpost in Ayungin. The incident, which saw CCG personnel screaming orders for the Navy team to stop while Filipino losing a thumb because of the ramping. The AFP has a standing demand for 60 million pesos as CCG payment Trinidad on Tuesday said there had been no rotation and supply rotary mission to the Sierra Madre since the June 17 incident, but that their troops were stationed that they still had enough provisions. The next mission, Trinidad said, would depend on the AFP Western Command, which has jurisdiction over the West Philippine Sea. We will ensure that our actions are not escalatory. We will continue the rotary missions. We will continue our maritime and air surveillance flights, he said. We have never been escalatory in our actions. The Chinese Communist Party's action in the West Philippine Sea have always been escalatory, he added. 1 minute before 8, and we will get ready to welcome new viewers and visitors for the 8 a.m. hour. Stay tuned and stick around.
Is koolNews Early Edition.
Well. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone who just joined koolNews edition. As we are here until 9 to serve you the latest morning headlines that you need to know from yesterday and today. So here we are. So to those who have just joined, welcome to koolNews Early Edition. Alright, so let's get into the headlines as we will look for one right now. Okay, so let's just see if we have ready headlines. Looks like pretty none so far in my empire. Okay, let's move on to what I should say, right? Alright, so look for alternative headlines. Alright, this is coming from ABS-CBN News. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Navy on Tuesday dismissed as false the radio commentary on a retired general who claimed that generals had walked out during a July 4 common conference with a top government official. That's fake news. I was there personally. There's nothing of that sort that happened. It was a very professional exchange of ideas and discussion, and it ended on a positive note. Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla, AFP spokesperson, told reporters during a weekly media briefing at Villamor Air Base in Pasay City. Padilla did not give other details on the common conference. Rear Admiral Roy Vincent de Trinidad, Navy spokesman for the West Philippine Sea, also denied the claims, saying the chain of command remains intact. He added that the military maintains a robust working relationship with higher headquarters, particularly the Department of National Defense. That is 50% fabrication, 50% imagination, 100% false. The AFP officers and the entire organization conducts itself with the highest level of professionalism, Trinidad said in a chance interview. He said that the claims were part of materials warfare, using vernacular slang for the gossip monger. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. headed the mid-year conference at the AFP General Headquarters in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City on July 4 with Defense Secretary Gilberto Delgado Jr., Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Special Assistant to the President Antonio Lagdamo, General Romel Brown Jr., AFP Chief, along with service unit commanders, ground commanders, and other high-ranking officials. Marcos instructed the military at that conference to de-escalate tensions in the West Philippine Sea, according to Bronner. Heavy rains in Negros Oriental caused another landslide in Sitao, Bulantubik, Barangay Malabao, Valencia Town, Tuesday night, July 16. According to the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, the road leading to Barangay Malabo is currently not passable to all vehicles due to falling rocks and a tree. Based on their assessment, no individuals were affected and there are no casualties in the landslide incident. Aside from some damaged electrical wires, there are no other reports of damage to agriculture, private or government properties. Authorities are set to conduct physical monitoring and assessment Wednesday to implement mitigation systems for the affected area. Clearing operations are also scheduled today. Bacasa Visayas has already issued multiple rainfall warnings due to the low pressure area and southwest monsoon. Almost halfway into the term of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., his campaign promise of bringing rice to 20 pesos per kilo remains an aspiration and nowhere near reality. This comes as the price of rice in the world market soared to a 15-year high, mostly due to reduced exports from India and the threat of El Nino. In September last year, rice prices skyrocketed to around 60 pesos per kilo. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, rice inflation hit 22.5% in June this year, only slightly lower compared to the previous month. The high price of rice poses a big challenge to the government, and surveys show controlling inflation remains the biggest concern of Filipinos. Because of this, the Department of Agriculture tried to execute several policies to bring down the price of rice from imposing price caps to lowering trips. ABS-CBN News talked to policy experts and farmers to discuss and analyze the current state of agriculture in the country, zooming in on rice ahead of Marcos Jr.'s third State of the Nation address. Marcos himself assumed the agriculture portfolio in the first year of his presidency, and the budget for the department significantly increased. When Marcos' administration started out, there was a lot of hope because he assumed direct leadership in agriculture. Definitely, that signaled that it was among his highest priorities. In fact, one of his legacies said Dr. Rolelano Rones, Senior Researcher Fellow of the Agriculture and Food Security Cluster of the Philippine Institute for Development Studies. Rones noted that the DA was given all-time high budgets and allotted a lot of budget to the rice programs. So in 2024, we have 70 billion pesos for NIA or National Irrigation Administration, 30 billion pesos for rice, of which 9 billion pesos is just for fertilizer subsidies. A lot of attention became devoted to rice, he added. But Professor Lucito Abuat of the College of Economics and Management of UP Los Banos said initial policies on the sector seem to be mixed. Parang mixed signals siya eh. May polisiya na nasasend na papunta sa mga masasaka. Minsan naman para sa liwa, he said. He pointed to the move of the National Food Authority to raise its buying price for locally grown rice as pro forma. The push to cut trips on imported rice meanwhile would hurt farmers. Farmers continue to be set the sector such as El Nino, the low rice of Palay, and the high rice of rice into the international market. In November 2023, President Marcos appointed a full-time secretary to focus on solving agricultural issues and boosting food security. Fishing tycoon Francisco Tolara Jr. took the helm, facing the huge challenges of both El Nino and soaring world market prices. Less than a year after assuming office, Tolara said that due to these issues, simply keeping current production levels was already a feat. I think maintaining our production long is already an achievement. May bawas konti pero that alone is enough like last year, Tolara said. The new agriculture chief acknowledged that production was slightly higher when the president was in charge of the department, but he said this was an act of God which was hard to follow. In September 2023, the Department of Agriculture imposed price caps on rice as a stopgap measure to temper rising prices. This put a price cap of 41 pesos per kilo for regular milled rice and 45 pesos per kilo for well milled rice. At the time, the prevailing cost of rice was about 52 pesos per kilo, which meant retailers lost 7 pesos for each kilo of rice they sold. One of the efforts last year was to impose a rice price ceiling, something that the average economics would probably not be in favor of, and indeed, within a month it was rejoined, Rones said. Several rice retailers claimed the policy led to huge losses, prompting government agencies to distribute financial assistance to registered retailers. Ang mangyayari, ibaba mo yung presyo ng produktong agriculture. Hindi lahat willing magtinda. Hindi na compensate ng presyo ang gusto ng mga magsasaka. Hindi na sila magbebenta or worse, na mag-create ng black market, he added. The policy was lifted up a month after implementation. Despite opposition from former groups, President Marcos also signed Executive Order 36, lowering the trips for imported rice to 15% from the current rate of 35%. The government hopes this will lead to lower retail prices for imported rice. Rones said the trips could have been cut further. They could have driven it to 0 or 10%. But 50% is a significant cut, but also a significant level of protection, he added. However, a broad alliance of former group questioned the executive order in the Supreme Court, posing legal challenges to the measure. So far, the Supreme Court has not issued a temporary restraining order against the EO. Another effort to bring down rice prices was the launch of the 29 pesos per kilo rice program, known as Bigas 29. This is exclusive to the vulnerable sectors in Kaliwa stores in Metro Manila and Bulacan. This is available for low-income families such as the beneficiaries of the 4-piece or Conditional Cash Grants Program, PWDs, senior citizens, and solo parents. The initial supply will come from 18 Brussels edible rice buffer stocks of the NFA. The Department of Agriculture said the sale of 29 pesos per kilo rice is aimed to be a long-term program lasting until the end of the Marcos administration. Ang pressing concern lagi ay inflation, saka may dagdag ko ang presyo ng bigas. Significant ang component sa ating CPI Consumer Price Index, ang galaw ng presyo ng bigas at galaw ang presyo ng CPI medyo hawik, Albrecht said. Joe Lauer himself admitted having to face a 21-year backlog in agriculture, particularly in mechanization and the modernization of systems to increase productivity. Ang pinaka-issue talaga ang sector ay productivity kasi yung ating ways ng ating pagtagtem ay hindi umuusad. Yung mechanization yung mechanization hindi kumakagat sa baba. Gumagawa tayo bagong variety and technology pero ending manumanaw pa rin pagtatanim. Na-improve pero konti and nako-convert mga lupa to other use so nababawasan, Hubak said. The aging population of farmers and fisher folk also pose problems as the number of younger farmers dwindles. Yung bagong henerasyon, mga anak ng mga magsasaka, ayaw na nila magsaka kasi tingin sa pagsasaka ay napaka-abang trabaho, Albrecht added. Experts said a more comprehensive plan and execution must be done to address issues in agriculture and help alleviate prices. Kailan ang pananaw mo percent sa pagsasaka ay farm to table mula sa pagpupula at pagsasahiin? Kailan yung tahi ng programa ay buo? Hindi tumitingin ka lang sa sector. Ang dating ng pulisya ay band-aid solution, Albrecht said. We need to transform it, value chain by value chain, Brones said. He said to able to amend, extend, and improve the rectification law is a key policy reform. This sends a signal that the administration is serious in pursuing the policy reform fundamentals for the sector, Brones said. But the big question remains, is the goal of lowering the price to 20 pesos per kilo still feasible? Given the public funds that are needed to achieve this will require heavy subsidies. Probably the public treasury will not be able to bear it. Not feasible in that sense, Brones ended. As for the government part, it remains our aspiration. At kihakin kain pa rin na dito natin ito, said Agriculture Assistant Secretary Arnold de Mesa. Alright, it is now 14 minutes after 8, and we will be right back for more headlines right here on koolNews Early Edition. Stick around, we will be right back. Welcome back to Cool News Early Edition. Okay, let me give you a second. Alright, so apparently the laptop just crashed on me, so I have to reopen the source now, so that's very weird. Anyways, let's keep going. I'm sorry, hold on. Where was I? Yes, the laptop crashed again. Yeah, the Ocampo right. Yeah, that one. Okay. Oh yeah, later we will be repeating the cool weather forecast that we aired earlier in the 6 a.m. hour. To those who have missed the news, to those who have missed the weather forecast, so there will be a repeat later. All right, now let's get into the headlines now. Okay. Then we'll open inquiry 2. See if I have new headlines. Kinda. Okay, the second, sorry, I'm very sorry, that's taking a while time. Oh yeah, we will have a tech headlines later as well, so stay tuned for that one. Now let's continue with the headlines now. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Fres Castro and former Bayamuna Representative Sadar Ocampo plan to elevate to the Court of Appeals the decision of the Davao City Davao del Norte Regional Trial Court convicting them and 11 others for violating the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. They have been sentenced to imprisonment of 4 to 6 years and were ordered to pay jointly and severally a total of 20,000 pesos in moral and civil damages to each of the 14 minors involved. In his decision, acting presiding judge Jimmy Boko said the prosecution established proof beyond reasonable doubt that the accused committed acts detrimental to the safety and well-being of the minor learners when they transported them on foot from their school in Talangkot, Davao del Norte last November 2018 for around 3 hours on a remote, dark, and unsecured road without the assistance of law enforcers, any government agency, and written permission from the minors' parents. He said this exposed the children to the risk of getting shot by either government troops or the New People's Army, getting bitten by snakes, or falling off a cliff. But Castro maintained it was a rescue mission, prompted by a call they received from teachers who were then allegedly being harassed by a paramilitary group. Ocampo noted their bail bonds remain applicable for the period of the appeal. Kung mabalitaan inyong na arestuhin kami, walang silang basis. There is no warrant of arrest issued. Malaya kami. At ang kalayang ito ang gagamitin namin sa paglaban sa kasong ito at sa paglaban sa karapatan ng mga katutubo, he said in the press conference on Tuesday. Ginamit ko yung aking kapangyarihan para magtulungan sa bingkit ng dangerous ng pangyayari yung ating mga teacher and students. Ang ating panawagan sa korte, mag-apabil kami na mabaligtad itong sitwasyon na ito at tipnang ang mga pangyayari before itong mga nangyaring pagsasara na eskwelahan na pagsot sa pag-alisan ng mga teachers and students. Castro added. A Luma student also defended them. Hinaharas ng alamara ng AFP ang mga kasamang naming estudyante. Ginawa nilang dahilan, wala permit to operate ang schools namin. Tinuturan daw kaming na maging NPA. Training ground daw ang mga eskwelahan namin. Accredited ang mga eskwelahan namin, may permit to operate mula sa DepEd. Catalon, student of Alamat School in North Cotabato said. Hindi inyo alam kung ano ang dinanaras namin sa mga komunidad. Hindi kayo nakakaranas ng harassment araw-araw, she added. For Katapaan Party List Representative Raul Manuel and Bayibuna Chairperson Enrico Menares, the case will be a test to the Marcos Jr. administration. Test ito sa Marcos Jr. administration kung ano ang magiging kahihinatan ng kasong ito. Nagpo-postera si Marcos Jr. na siya raw ay mas bukas na makinig at gusto manik ang hustisya sa bansa. Pero yung kung dito ang nangyayari na naging pa rin ang gawin kaso laban sa mga progresibo, mga kambayan leader, doon natin malalaman kung totoo hypocritical ang administration ito, Manuel said. Ito, desisyon na ito ay weaponization ng batas laban sa mga aktivista, the Center's Opposition called Menares added. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na panahon ni Duterte yan. Sayo ang fiscal yung gawa-gawa, ang kaso, madali lang sa prosecution na umantaras dito He is optimistic that Castro and 11 others have a good chance of getting the RTC decision reversed. I don't see any way na mag-affirm ng High Court ang decision, yung kung ang pag-usapan at walang influence or anything such as the system, called Menares explained. Former ACT Teachers Party List Representative Antonio Tino, meanwhile, believes it is no coincidence that the RTC decision was issued after the Makabayan Coalition announced that it will fill a full Senate slate in the upcoming midterm elections. Kahanda tayo na harapin ang mga susunod pang panunupil na takinhin ang Makabayan, ang ating mga kandidato, ang ating mga party list. Atrasa pa? Matatakot pa? Hindi po. Ang di makaliwirang desisyong ito ay lalong nagtutulak sa Makabayan Coalition na pag-ibayuhin pa ang kampanya at laban. Trino said. All right, now back to Inquirer now. On June back to Inquirer now. On June 30, 2024, the Chinese bridge Shangling opened, allowing the country to claim 10 world records in one fell swoop. The 24-kilometer passage links the opposite banks of the Pearl River estuary. Also enjoys the Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge, letting people traverse these densely populated areas. The Shenzhen Zihongshan link has a team of 14 robots consistently patrolling it. They check pipes and cables and spot car accidents to ensure the Chinese bridge operates smoothly. The China Global Television Network says the Shenzhen Zihongshan link set the following world record. It's the largest span for a fully offshore steel box girder suspension bridge, highest bridge deck, highest navigation clearance for our sea bridge, largest offshore suspension bridge anchor, highest wind resistance step speed for a suspension bridge, largest steel bridge deck with hot mix epoxy asphalt paving, longest way 8-lane immersed tube tunnel, widest underwater steel shell considered immersed tube tunnel, largest single volume cast for a steel shell immersed tube using some compacting considerate, and the widest repeatedly foldable M-shaped water stop used in the final joint of an immersed tube tunnel. The Chinese bridge is also one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects to date due to its scale and complexity. Contrary to popular belief, it is not a mere stretch of road. It links two artificial islands via an underwater tunnel with bridges connecting each island to the city on that side. As a result, it is the world's first underwater expressway interchange and airport interchange. The Xihongshan link also boasts robust safety features like firefighting and smoke exhaust systems. As mentioned, it has 40 robots that check pipes and cables and look for car incidents. Once they detect a car crash, they will direct traffic with their loudspeakers. Meanwhile, it will film the scene and transmit footage to a remote control center. And now it's time for tech news out there. Tech experts want to deploy robots into offices and other indoor space. However, they need sophisticated artificial intelligence to be more aware of their surroundings. It seems Google Gemini is close to being that AI solution. Google DeepMind detailed in the RF paper how they implemented Gemini 1.5 Pro to teach a robot to respond to comments and navigate around an office. As a result, the machine could lead a researcher to the nearest power outlet and remember where they left specific items. Google admits these features are still modern, so they will lead further testing to deep practical applications. TechCrunch says the researchers led the robot on a specialized guided tour to help it familiarize itself with the TeamMind office. The team calls this method the multimodal instruction navigation with demonstration tours (MINT). It involved walking the robot around the office while pointing out different landmarks via speech. This process allows the artificial intelligence to map the indoor environment based on what it sees with its cameras. Next, the scientists instructed Google Gemini on how to translate user requests into navigation directions it must follow. Specifically, they used a hierarchical vision, language, action, navigation policy to make it possible. It combined the environment understanding and common sense reasoning. Digital Trends says the results were highly successful. The Google Gemini bot achieved 86 and 9%, 86% and 90% end-to-end success rates on previously infeasible navigation tasks involving complex reasoning and multimodal user instructions in a large real-world environment. The robot was able to lead researchers to the nearest power outlet and recall where to get cans of soda. Moreover, it led them to the DeepMind office whiteboard. Google Mind admits the Google Gemini robot is still clunky. The machine still can't perform its office tour without assistance. Also, it takes 10 to 30 seconds to respond. We will likely take a few more years before we have Gemini bots doing our chores. Nevertheless, the researchers will continue holding the artificial intelligence to realize this application. Alright, it is now time for the repeat of cool weather forecast from Pagkasa Weather Specialist, Albert Barina.
Magandang umaga ng Miyerkules sa inyong lahat. Narito na ang lagay ng ating panahon ngayong July 17, 2024. Sa ating latest satellite images, makikita natin dalawang weather system pa rin ang nakakaapekto sa ating bansa. Ang southwest monsoon o habagat na siya nagdadala pa rin ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan partikular na sa may kanlurang bahagi ng Southern Luzon, Visayas at ng Mindanao. Sa silangang bahagi naman, nandito pa rin yung low pressure area na patuloy nating minomonitor. Huling namataan 200 km east northeast ng Surigao City sa Surigao del Norte. Sa ngayon, hindi pa rin natin inaalis yung posibilidad na ito ay maging bagyo habang lumalapit pa rin ito sa kaulapan. Gayunpaman, maging bagyo man o hindi itong low pressure area na ito ay nagbababala tayo kasi patuloy itong magdadala ng mga pag-ulan sa mga susunod na araw, partikular na sa bahagi ng Visayas at kasama din yung Southern Luzon, lalo na itong Bicol region. Kaya sa mga kababayan natin dito sa may area ng Visayas, dito sa may area ng Caraga at sa may Bicol region, gayon din sa iba pang bahagi ng Southern Luzon, asahan natin in the next 2 to 3 days patuloy na magdadala ng mga pag-ulan itong low pressure area, habang ang Southwest Monsoon magdadala rin ng mga pag-ulan dito sa may western section ng ating bansa. Yung ilang bahagi ng Luzon, kasama na dyan yung Northern Luzon at yung silangang bahagi ng Luzon, yung Ilocos region, patuloy na makararanas ng mga thunderstorms, mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Kasama na dyan itong Central Luzon at yung bahagi ng Calabarzon at Metro Manila. Maliban dito sa low pressure area nating minomonitor, wala na tayo iba pang binabantayang anumang weather disturbance sa loob at labas ng Philippine Area of Responsibility. Kaya laging tumutok sa Pag-asa kung makikita natin kung magiging bagyo itong low pressure area na ating minomonitor, silangan ng Mindanao. Samantala, narito ang magiging lagay ng panahon dito sa may bahagi ng Luzon. Makikita natin, malaki pa rin yung tsansa ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan, partikular na sa bahagi na Isabela, kasama din yung area ng Aurora, Quezon, malaking bahagi ng Bicol region, gayon din sa may bahagi ng Mimaropa. Ito ay dulot ng epekto ng low pressure area sa may silangang bahagi ng Luzon, habang dito sa may area ng Mimaropa, dulot naman yun ng southwest monsoon o hanging habagay. Kaya asahan natin yung maulap na kalangitan sa bahaging ito ng Luzon. Sa lalabing bahagi naman ng Luzon, kasama na dyan yung Kamaynilaan, inaasahan pa rin natin yung mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Posible medyo mainit pa rin yung tanghali natin. Yung agwat nga ng temperatura sa Lawag, 26 to 33 degrees Celsius. Sa Tuguegarao, 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. Sa Baguio, 17 to 25. Sa Metro Manila, hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Sa Tagaytay naman, hanggang 30 degrees Celsius. Habang sa Legazpi, 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. Dumako tayo sa Palawan, Visayas at Mindanao. Magiging malaki din yung tsansa ng mga pag-ulan sa Palawan, dulot ito ng southwest monsoon o habagat, at ang agwat ng temperatura sa Kalayaan Islands 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sa Puerto Princesa naman nasa 25 to 30 degrees Celsius din. Malaking bahagi naman din ng Kabisayaan, ito ang Eastern Visayas, Western Visayas, Central Visayas at Negros Island region ay patuloy ding makararanas ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga tsansa ng mga pag-ulan, lalo na habang lumalapit itong low pressure area sa may area naman ng Kabisayaan. Agwat ang temperatura natin sa Iloilo, 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sa Cebu naman, 24 to 29 degrees Celsius at sa Tacloban, 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. Malaking bahagi din ng Mindanao ay makararanas ng mga pag-ulan sa araw na ito. Dulot yan ng low pressure area sa may silangang bahagi at southwest monsoon dito naman sa may area ng western Mindanao, kasama din yung area ng Soc-Sargen. Asahan natin yung mga pag-ulan na maaring magdulot pa rin ng mga biglaang pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa. Kaya sa mga kababayan ho natin dito sa Palawan, Visayas at Mindanao, iba yung pag-iingat nga dahil inaasahan pa rin natin magtutuloy-tuloy itong mga pag-ulan na dulot ng habagat at southwest monsoon. Yung habagat, southwest monsoon at saka yung low pressure area. Sa Zamboanga, ang agwat ng temperatura 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Sa Davao City, 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Habang sa Cagayan de Oro, nasa 24 to 30 degrees Celsius. Samantala, sa ngayon, wala tayong nakataas na gale warning pa rin, pero nagbibigay tayo ng babala, lalong-lalo na sa mga maliit sa sakyang pandagat. Kasi dito sa may kanlurang bahagi ng ating bansa, moderate to rough o katamtaman hanggang sa maalon ang magiging lagay ng ating karagatan. Kaya iba yung pag-iingat, lalo na pag minsan medyo mataas po yung alon. No? So iba yung pag-iingat sa mga kababayan natin, lalong-lalo na nga yung may mga maliliit na mga bangka. Samantala, ang araw natin ay sisikat mamayang 5:36 na umaga at lulubog, ganap na 6:29 ng gabi. At sundan tayo sa iba't ibang mga social media platforms, lalo na nga na may binabantayan tayong isang weather disturbance, itong low pressure area sa may silangan ng Mindanao. Sundan tayo sa ating iba't ibang mga social media platforms sa X, Facebook at YouTube at sa ating website pag-asa.dosc.gov.ph. At muli, mula sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center, ako naman si Obet Badrina. Maghanda po tayo lagi para sa ligtas na Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay.
And that was the repeat of Cool Weather Forecast from Pagkasa Weather Specials of Barbarina. Alright, it is now 18 minutes before 9 and it's 8:42 in the morning, so Cool News Early Edition will return after these messages. We will be right back. Welcome back to Cool News Early Edition. It is now 11 minutes before 9, and we will soon be living into the music zone with Aspir in just a few minutes. Okay, so now let's just reload the ticker here. Alright, so let's see if we have any new headlines this time, and then we will cover the entertainment news. Okay, so just give me a second. Oh, we do have a new headline here. All right, and then after the rest, there will be entertainment onwards. Okay, let's get into that in just a bit. Okay, so we're going to prepare in advance for the posting soon. Alright, just making sure. Okay, looking good so far. Alright, now let's just prepare. Just give me a moment to prepare the headlines. Okay. See, pardon me as I'm still looking for one here. There is. All right, let's get into the last headline, and then last regular headline, and then it will be entertainment afterwards. All right, so Pfizer is developing a once-a-day weight loss pill, so that's really cool. You can find several drugs that claim to help you achieve a slimmer figure, but usually you do not meet expectations. Fortunately, it seems Pfizer is close to creating a truly effective weight loss pill. The Telegraph said the U.S. pharmaceutical firm will start testing different doses of the experimental drug later this year. Mikael Dostin, Pfizer's outgoing chief scientific officer and president of research and development, said it will address the present and persistent medical needs of people living with obesity. The official Pfizer website calls its new weight loss drug Danuglipron. The company designed it to be taken orally, but no health authorities have approved its use. It is a type of investigational medicine known as the GLP-1 receptor agonist. In other words, it is a drug that maintains healthy blood sugar levels by increasing insulin production. Danuglipron also slows digestion and boosts the feeling of fullness after eating, which may help people lose weight. Nowadays, Pfizer is conducting a randomized study to test the drug's safety and effectiveness. At the time of writing the weight loss pill yielded promising results. Mikael Dolan, MD, PhD, Chief Scientific Officer and President, Pfizer Research and Development, said the following regarding the Lipron. Obesity is a key therapeutic area for Pfizer, and the company has a robust pipeline of 3 clinical and several preclinical candidates. The most advanced of them, the Lipron, has demonstrated good efficacy in a twice-daily formulation, and we believe a once-daily formulation has the potential to have a competitive profile in the oral GLP-1 space. Until the weight loss pill reaches pharmacy shelves, Ozempic will likely remain the popular choice. The New York Times says it is diabetes medicine that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved. Eventually, the FDA approved a drug called Wegovy, which has a higher dose of Ozempic's active ingredient. Wegovy started getting public attention when Elon Musk credited his new VCQ to it. And now, finally, with entertainment headlines now, as Lee Sun-min of Super Junior announced that his wife, Kim Seo-yoon, is finally pregnant with their first child, 10 years after they tied the knot. The celebrities took to their respective Instagram pages to share the news by posting a picture of their baby's ultrasound alongside their maternity and paternity photo shoot. Some admitted that he is nervous to share the news with the public as he is finally about to become a father after a decade of marriage. I am writing this carefully to deliver my news to deliver news to my fans first. A precious baby has come to me. I am becoming a father after 10 years of marriage, he said. As much as the baby came to us after much difficulty, we will take responsibility and raise it with love and care. I worried a lot about when and how to share this news. Although I'm nervous, I would appreciate it if you would look upon us with warmth, added the K-pop singer. Songmin then thanked his fans for their support and promised that he would continue to radiate positive energy. Now that I have someone to take responsibility for, everything in the world feels more precious than before. To everyone who always supports me with love and attention, I would like to say thank you once again. I will become a singer who repeats the love with great music that gives happiness, he expressed. Meanwhile, Sun Yoon shared that she is due in September and they have already come up with the baby's nickname. I'm having a baby. I didn't know I would feel this much nervous. After a long wait of 10 years, a baby came to us like a miracle. We nicknamed the baby Popo, wrote the musical actress. Time went by fast and I am already 8 months pregnant. I am still amazed every day that there is life inside my belly and I am praying for a healthy birth, she added. As I am very cautious and concerned, I am delivering the news a little late. Aunts and uncles, see you in September, concluded the YouTube personality as she thanked her supporters. Excuse me. In December 2024, Songmin and Sakyun tied the knot in a private ceremony attended by their family and friends in the K-pop industry. Songmin rose to fame after debuting in Super Junior in 2005. The boy group is known for their hits Sorry Sorry, Mr. Simple, and Bon Na Mama Na, among others. And annoyed George Estrada slammed a fake quote card circulating on social media that claimed that the actor supposedly confirmed having a third party in his marriage with Priscilla Mireles. The Pantang Quiapo actor shared a screenshot of a Facebook post from an account under the name Zumbam Dance Chismes via his Instagram stories on Tuesday, July 16. Included in the post is a fake quote card with Estrada's photo and Instagram username which states, kaya ako, marami nakakagusto sa akin kasi matipuno at gawapo tayo. Ano magagawa ko, yutos ko na yung lumalapit. Edit tukain. Estrada then dismissed this and wrote, fake news, adding 3 angry face emoji. Estrada, however, did not expound on the matter and opted not to address the separation rumors haunting his marriage. Such speculations arose after Mireles, who is currently in Brazil with their daughter Anachka for a trip, earlier left a comment on the actor's Boracay photos that reads, looking very divorced Mr. Estrada. The former beauty queen further responded to a netizen's comment asking whom Estrada was with in his trip, mentioning the Instagram handle. Estrada was also spotted in the Boracay park, dancing with gold companions. In a separate Facebook live video, Mireles said she had enough and stressed that one must be very careful about the consequences of things. Excuse me. All right. Okay. One minute before 9, and that will be it for koolNews Early Edition. As always, thank you so much for your continuous trust and support, and And thank you to those who joined me for your source of morning headlines, whether you're from 6 a.m., 7 a.m., or this hour of koolNews early edition. Okay, with that, if you have any news tip or feedback, if you have any news tip or feedback that you want to send us, you can email it to the koolNews at noon, and 9 with koolNews prime time. I repeat, we'll be back with more headlines later with koolNews at 11 a.m., koolNews at noon, koolNews at 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and koolNews prime time at 9 p.m. Until then, I am Aspir, and we will see you later for more headlines at 11 a.m. Good morning and goodbye for now.